Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Aussie Starcraft, where we've been bringing you some games from Dreamhack Winter that took place very recently. This time it is another deciding match, this time between our blue Zerg in the bottom central location of Polar Night and our red Protoss player Alliance Naniwa in the top central location of Polar Night. So it will be a Protoss versus Zerg. This game 3 in a best of 3 series, so naturally these players are one win apiece and have faced various builds from each other, so it'll be interesting to see what they break out in this third game to decide who will move on to the next round of this tournament and who will fall down to the losers bracket. So we've seen some great games out of both Naniwa and Leenock in this tournament, and we'll see whether Leenock has the edge. Obviously a Dreamhack veteran. Leenock did win Dreamhack Stockholm, so he's very used to both this format and environment. So we'll see how it goes. Obviously Naniwa, the king of the north, a lot of players cheering for him in this tournament. And we'll see what he has in store for us. Naniwa's PvZ is actually very good, so he should have a few tricks up his sleeve. We'll see what these players decide to roll out. Now, while the game's getting underway, just a few things by way of announcement. I do go away in about 3 or 4 days time, just after Christmas. I'll be going away for a couple of days, then I'll be back for a bit, and then heading away for another 3 or 4 days. So we'll be preparing a lot of content for the channel, so plenty of Starcraft games going to be uploaded for you. By all means, check those out. Go ahead and save a few for while I'm not around. If you've got any requests from Dreamhack Winter, we are progressively casting our way through the tournament. After this series of games, we will be moving on to the semi-finals and finals and casting some of the full sets from there. Looks like Naniwa is going straight for his Nexus on the low ground. In fact, got the Nexus before his gateway, so a very greedy opening for Naniwa here. He is scouting out now to make sure he's not going to be facing too early a Zergling rush. Hopefully he'll be able to get his wall up in place before anything like that. Does see that the extractor has been mining gas, but spawning pool not quite complete yet. It looks like we will have Zergling speed on the way as soon as that spawning pool is completed. So interesting build order out of Leenock. Looks like he'll be able to grab his queen and his Zergling speed quite quickly. Grabbing queen is natural as well. Naniwa trying to get this base wall off. It's a fairly large choke point here, but you can wall it off quite easily with a couple of pylons and a gateway, or a couple of pylons and a cyber core. And Naniwa proceeding to chrono boost probes out of both his nexus, or out of one nexus, and continuing to produce out of the other. First zealot is on the way, so fairly standard opening for Naniwa, but it's this probe moving around the backside that I'm a bit curious about, wondering what Naniwa has in store with this probe. Obviously continuing to patrol back and forward there. I wonder if he's going to go for some sort of proxy, or if it's just a pylon for later. That Zergling speed almost halfway complete now. Bob the Zealot is on guard duty at the door, and a sentry is going to follow that up. So always curious to see what tech choice Protoss players go for, and actually is going to be a Twilight Council, so we could potentially have Dark Templar out of Naniwa here. And for this gasless sort of opening, it could actually be quite potent here for Naniwa. Well, not gasless opening, but he's dropped down to one harvester mining gas. So for Leenock, any lair tech and overlords actually probably several minutes away. So going to throw down his third hatchery, and currently there's still no proxy pylon established, but Naniwa just going in for another scout. But that scout's going to be picked off by those two queens before he can make his way up into the main base. See Naniwa grabbing all his gas now. Actually, he has got the Dark Shrine on the way, so it will be a DT tech choice for Naniwa. We have warp gates almost completed now. Going to chrono boost out a few more. Still only the one gateway as of yet, so not a whole lot in the way of gateways to actually produce these Dark Templar. But looks like Leenock has his number. He is in fact throwing down some spore crawlers at his main base, and nothing yet at his natural, but the lair is going up there. So I wonder if Leenock somehow managed to grab a view of that. No, just going on a gut instinct there. But this Dark Shrine almost completed now, so we'll have DTs on the field in no time flat. Warp Gate just morphing in now, but it's currently still just one gateway, so very low production facilities for Naniwa, and he really runs the risk of falling prey to some sort of early Zerg time attack. There are three hatcheries in play, plenty of queens. Be quite easy for Leenock to go for some sort of heavy roach play early on and catch Naniwa with his pants down. So though 2 Stargates following this up is quite an interesting tech choice. Dark Templar into Sky Toss, not something that we see a lot of. We do have 1 Dark Templar making his way in here, and there are no Overseers in the field currently. Actually going for the main base, and gotta say, probably not the best choice. I hope Naniwa's watching this Dark Templar. No, he's gonna make his way in, but unfortunately going to get picked off very quickly. Only 1 worker killed there, so not the best choice. Leenock still nothing at his natural, but Overseer morphine in now, so going to be able to keep both these bases fairly safe. And unfortunately for Naniwa, that's going to put a fairly quick end to the Dark Templar aggression. So it's quite an investment there that's unfortunately not done a whole lot. Leenock obviously aware that that's a lot of minerals and gas that have been sunk into that. Going to be moving out now with his Zerglings and Roaches to try and put the pressure on Naniwa. Mothership Core here is going to try and force the Zerglings away, but and 2 Void Rays are on the way, 2 more being Chrono Boosted out. This 3rd base of Naniwa is under fairly serious siege over here. Nexus already down to almost half health. Can these Zealots drive off these Zerglings? There is a Dark Templar here that's going to substantially help the Nexus. Oh, Leenock's so close to picking this off, and he will get the Nexus, so that's worthwhile. Lost a lot of units for that aggression, lost 1100 units, but sniping the Nexus always worthwhile. Well, providing you don't lose to an imminent counterattack and die horribly, but you know what I mean. Nexus going down is going to delay Naniwa's gas income, particularly double Stargate does require quite a lot of gas to power it. Leenock here moving out with 4 Void Rays in the Mothership Core, though. Oh, sorry, not Leenock. Naniwa moving out with his Void Rays and Mothership Core. We have quite a few Hydras actually on the way. Proxy Hatch, Macro Hatch going down at the 3rd base location. There's 6 Hydras already in play. I don't know that Naniwa's actually going to be able to make anything. Dark Templar goes down very quickly, and Naniwa's forced back away from this base. A lot of Hydras in play. Still no robotics base, so frequently Protoss players will go for a few Stargates and then try and follow it up with some Colossi to exploit the Hydras that get built, but seems like Naniwa's actually just producing a few gateways, so, and no High Templar on the way either, so it'll be interesting to see how Naniwa deals with this increasing amount of Hydras. Quite a few on the way, another 5 actually being produced at the moment. Naniwa just consistently producing Void Rays and Zealots, so obviously Naniwa knows something we don't know, and is going to continue sticking with this Sky Toss strategy. Naniwa has been quite fond of the Void Rays lately, so a lot of players have sort of lost favour with them in competitive play, or particularly against Zerg players. Things like the Hydralisk in HOTS do phenomenal damage against them. Leenock here actually moving out with a substantial force, Queens as well as these Zerglings, going to try and put the pressure on this 3rd base again. Naniwa here with a fairly sizable force. There's 173 supply to 131, so it's a very substantial differential here. Lots of Zerglings here to soak up both the photon overcharge and the damage from these Void Rays, so Leenock just trying to get himself in position where his Queens can kill the Void Rays. Queen's very good against Void Rays. They're light units, so the prismatic alignment doesn't do anything, or doesn't do any added damage. Lots of force fields going down from Naniwa. It's quite an incredible series of force fields, completely keeping those Zerg at bay. But force fields are dropping now, and Leenock's going to put the squeeze on this expansion. There's a lot of Void Rays, however, and it looks like Naniwa may actually be able to hold here. The Nexus is actually up to 20 kills with this Photon Overcharge, though, given most of those kills are actually Zerglings. These Zealots here are going to be able to tank the last of this damage. It looks like Naniwa will be able to hold, so Leenock trying to take his force base behind this, but is going to be exposed to a counterattack. A lot of Queens and Hydralists did in fact die in that engagement, so if we check out the units lost tab, it is 8,000 units lost to 5,500, and when both players are on 3 base, that actually favours Naniwa. So 4th base is actually finished now for Leenock, and he's going to be needing that for the production to try and put the pressure back on Naniwa. There's actually a Hydralist counterattack going into Naniwa's expansion. These Void Rays, however, not wanting to get out of position, but these Hydralists going straight up for the main base. So there's quite a few workers going down. 2, 3, 4, 5 workers going down here. Naniwa trying to chrono boost some gateways so he can produce some more Zealots. But Dark Templar is going to hack down the last few of these. 4 Hydralists on the hunt. Dark Templar is going to allow him to clean that up, but quite a few workers did go down. The gas is no longer mining, which is quite important. You see Naniwa throw his workers straight back in gas there. There's quite a sizable force now starting to make its way in the middle of the map. You see Naniwa's actually at a supply advantage currently, which is quite rare in the matchup, but Naniwa managing to hold that defensive line obviously is paying vast dividends. A lot of the supply for Leenock's caught up in Zerglings, but the Zerglings have actually made it through into the base. They're going to pick off this Zealot and be able to make it through into the main base of Naniwa. So there's quite a substantial counterattack here. The Zealot's almost dying, but Dark Templars here are going to be able to clean this up. A few Overlords now making their way up, but the Dark Templars have killed a substantial amount of these. The Photon Cannon's finally going down. Naniwa's all in for the base trade, trying to kill off these Overlords. No more units will be produced. We have the supply cap of Leenock dropping rapidly down to 136. Naniwa powering into the main base. If you can snipe a few of these Overlords, that will be it for Leenock. No more units be able to be produced. Yep, currently supply blocked. Leenock, though, wreaking havoc in the natural of Naniwa. Natural expansion no longer mining. Have drones being pulled to try and tank damage for the Queens and the Hydras, but these units aren't shooting the Void Rays, and the Void Rays with prismatic alignment just doing so much damage. Spawning pool going down. Look at these Void Rays, 9, 10, 12 kills on some of these Void Rays. Just unfortunately, Void Rays in quantities like this are very difficult for Zerg to kill, particularly once he'd lost all his Queens. So Naniwa's all in it for the base trade. He's managed to clean up the Zerg units as his own base, and things are looking pretty grim for Leenock. Leenock no longer mining his natural, only got his 3rd base and a little bit of mining going on at his 4th base. Nice force fields from Naniwa, continuing to make life very difficult for these Hydralists. No angles that they can engage on. These Void Rays are just going to be able to mow through the Hydralists one at a time. You can see Naniwa actually going for a shield upgrade on his Void Rays, which obviously an interesting choice, not something we always see, and Leenock is going to tap out there. But the shield upgrade is very good, particularly on the Void Rays, which tend to duck in and out of combat quite a lot of health, a lot of shields, and by ducking in and out of combat, Naniwa is able to make them quite cost effective. If we look at the units lost tab, you'll see Naniwa actually almost double the cost efficiency of Leenock, so 23,000 units lost for Leenock as opposed to 13,000 for Naniwa. So in spite of the fact he had no Colossus or High Templar, Naniwa making it work with Void Rays and Zealots and a few Sentries for good force fields. So very interesting game there. Naniwa are always keen to break out the interesting tactics. We certainly don't see a lot of this sort of play, particularly against Zerg, but Naniwa showing us how it's done. So great game from Naniwa. He will progress to the next round, and Leenock will fall down into the losers bracket. So hope you guys enjoyed the cast. Go ahead and share it with your friends on Facebook and Twitter, and we will catch you all in the next cast. Thanks guys. This is Aussie Starcraft. We'll catch you in the next cast.